Good evening everybody and welcome to the beautiful Island of Mull. I'm here for a full week and I cannot wait to get the camera out and get started. I've got 7 days in which to try and find some new locations. Mull in itself is not that well known for landscape photography. It's certainly well known for wildlife photography, but I'm not going to limit myself just to landscapes. I'm going to do whatever takes my fancy on any particular day, but I'm really keen to try and explore some new opportunities for landscapes. And I see that as a bit of a challenge. I think it's all too easy to keep heading to Skye. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to go to Skye again. I love the place, but there's got to be something here. The coastline is fairly inaccessible. There's only so many roads to so many places, and when you get there, a lot of the coastline is very rocky like this and broken, and sometimes it's very difficult to try and make sense of all the chaos around you. But I can't believe there's no images to be had. So for the next 7 days, I'm going to be trying my damnedest to find some new images here. So good morning and welcome to my first location. Over the last couple of days I've scouted out a number of locations that I want to try and photograph, and I'm really going to limit myself just to those locations. I'm not going to run around ragged. I've found these locations and I want to work at them, and the reason I do that is because you can end up getting nothing or very, very mediocre shots, whereas if you really concentrate on 2 or 3 locations that are ideally suited to certain conditions, then you stand a much greater chance of getting what you want. All the locations are within about half an hour's drive of where I'm staying, so it's ideal, especially for dawn light. This morning I got up at 5 excuse me, and it's now half past 5. Sunrise is in half an hour. It's probably not going to happen. The light should be coming now. The sky should be colouring up. The weather forecast last night was looking fairly promising, so it was enough to get me out of bed and get me to race down here and get into position. And this is what I mean about working close to where you live, or where you're staying for a period of time, because when it doesn't work out, you've not invested huge amounts of time and fuel and expenses getting to your location, and it's not a big deal if it doesn't happen. I'm going to stick around for another 10-15 minutes, and just enough time to let the sun get high enough in the sky to make a decision as to whether it's worth stopping or not, and then take it from there. But at this moment in time, I'm not overly optimistic. Well, if nothing else, the composition is really nice. I'm very, very happy with it. It's 20 minutes after sunrise and I can just about see the sun between the cleft of the mountain over there, and I think what's happened is that as it's come up, it's risen into some low cloud and it's just not allowed the light to penetrate through and hit the mountain. It's not really worked for me at all today. I can see Benmore from the cottage, and I could see when I got up and looked through the curtains this morning that there was some cloud hugging the tops. So in that respect, at least I'm close enough to be able to check it, but it's always still going to be a gamble, because what happens as the day warms up, a lot can happen to the clouds on mountain summits, and on this occasion, as you can see, the clouds have just dispersed. I'm going to give it another 20 minutes and see what happens, but the problem is that the longer I wait, the colour temperature of the light is going to go more and more blue, and I'm going to lose that lovely warmth that I'm trying to achieve. I don't think the winning shot is here, even if the sun does come out now. I really want to try for that low cloud around the summits, and that's what I'm going to hold out for. I've got several more days, so I'll keep coming back and keep trying, but that's what it's all about, it's persistence, and for this location I think it's well worth it. So I've just arrived at one of the locations that I scouted over the last few days on Mull, and this is one of the locations that I had in mind for when it was bad light, and to be fair, I've not had anything but bad light ever since I arrived. For the last 2 days it's done nothing but rain, and the other morning when I was out early morning to get the shot of Ben Moore, I've not had anything, not even been out with the camera since. Now I'm walking backwards and forwards a little bit at the moment because I've just arrived here, and the midges already have descended upon me, and they're just absolutely biting like you wouldn't believe. Now this location has got its difficulties in that I've not really scouted it 100%. I've only seen it from a distance, and sometimes that can lead you into false impressions of a location. I'll just spin it around. You can see there's a waterfall just over there. And ordinarily waterfalls, yeah, they're all right, they're good fun to shoot. But this one drew my attention because just to the right-hand side of the waterfall, there's the most beautiful tree, old, cranky-looking tree, and that is enough to make me want to go over there and shoot it more than anything else. But like I say, I've only seen it from a distance, and where I've seen it from is the road just over there. And sorry, camper van. So yeah, I've seen it from the road over there, and that can give me a false idea of what it's going to be like to shoot it. And from over there with a 100 to 400mm lens, or something like a 400mm fixed, it's an ideal position. Now the chances are when I get to a location where I can shoot comfortably, I might be looking up too much at it, and I expect, and my concern is that the tree will be breaking the skyline, and that's one of the problems that I might have, that I really don't want to happen. So I may even go back and shoot it from further back, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. I've got to walk through quite a bit of bracken to get there, so I'm fully kitted up with all the gubbins, the leggings, because we don't want to get ticks. This place is crawling with ticks. So I've got the ticks to contend with, and I've got the midges. So I'll get my gear, get over there, and fingers crossed it'll be a cracking shot. But this is one of those days where you've just got to fly by the seat of your pants basically, and hope that when you get there it's exactly what you're praying it will be. So I've just arrived at the waterfall. Excuse the silly hat. That's a very good hat. It's a Tilly hat. The wonderful bit of kit. If you don't own one, you should get one. Lifetime guarantee. Keeping the midges certainly off my head. But first impressions on the waterfall. See behind me. It's a little bit cluttered. I can't get as close as I want to it, or at least certainly I can't appear to. From standing here it looks like it's pretty dense cover. I will try and get nearer, but as I said at the car, the tree is breaking the skyline, and that's not what I wanted, and I'm not sure I'm going to deal with that, and whether it's actually going to spoil the image, I've no idea. Sometimes it's difficult to know until you get the camera out and you look at it, but breaking that skyline's a real shame. But I'm sure there's still a shot here. I like the way, and I think it's an oak, it could be a mountain ash, I'm not sure until I get a bit closer, but the tree that's sort of slightly obscuring the waterfall, that's sort of leaning into it, I quite like that. I quite like the way that it breaks up the curtain of the waterfall, and that in itself is quite beautiful. And we've got some bracken at the base that might form a base to an image, and again, until I get the camera out I've really no idea, but I'm wondering how I'm going to deal with that bright sky, because waterfalls are wonderful things, but it's always nice if you can get where the waterfall breaks the skyline, if you've got some more vegetation or hillside behind it. Otherwise you're going to be dealing with a lot of contrast. And as you can see at the top there, it's a very, very bright sky. And it may be the case that a blue sky would work better, but then I think you lose the atmosphere of what you're trying to create. The other option is that I crop and I just use the trees and the curtain of the waterfall as a single image and just forget shooting the whole thing. So I'm going to get the camera out now before I get eaten alive and frame up a couple of compositions and see how it looks. So first composition is basically 3 limbs of the tree sticking out in front of the waterfall. Have you ever seen anything quite so bad as this? Yeah, 3 limbs sticking out over the waterfall. Looks really quite nice through the viewfinder. Whether I can put up with this swarm is yet to be seen. Image stabilizer off. Autofocus off. Poor Scottish midge. Don't you just love them? So I've got the curtain of water behind the tree as it sticks out. On live view, just the exposure. Take the image. Moving back. That's actually really quite nice. So I'm currently on ISO 100. Aperture is f16 and shutter speed half a second. Actually, dial that down a bit more. No, half a second looks good. 2-second timer, mirror lock up. I think that's nice, but I can work at it. I'm going to tweak the composition, and in a couple of actually the wind's just got up. What a relief that makes, that just like gone. Let's grab it again. I'm fighting it here, really fighting it. I can I think I've swallowed one. So yeah, that's a better composition now. I'm going to put the ISO down to 50 just to give me a slightly longer exposure. One and a half seconds. The wind's gone again. I've definitely swallowed a midge. That's really quite nice. I'm going to stick that on, not just yet. I'm going to have a wander over there, see if I can get a closer shot and have another look for something else. I'll get back to you when I've got over there, and then we'll put the shots on all at the end together. But oh, that was horrible. That was really horrible. So I've got to the foot of the waterfall. That was horrible. My ears have been bitten alive. And now at the bottom of the waterfall, there's a lot more breeze. Not sure why that is. It must be something to do with the force of the waterfall. I don't know, but there's certainly no midges here, and it's a lot more pleasant. But still struggling with that midge. I have definitely swallowed a midge, at least one. But now that I've got here, typically there's a lot of spray, and I would be fighting to get an image here. And in all honesty, the shot from back there is definitely the nicer shot. If I was to shoot it here, I will just turn this round. I was to shoot it here, there's nothing other than the curtain of water, and whilst that's nice, you know, it's a nice pleasing scene, and if you're just starting out shooting waterfalls and you like to create the soft ethereal movement of the water to make this lovely soft silky feel to the water, a plain and simple waterfall is a good place to start. But there becomes a point where you want to create a little bit more interest, and that might come in the form of rock cascades, or like I've done just now, to introduce some trees just to create more of a scene rather than just a simple single sort of a single interest composition. It's nice to put a few more different elements to it, as long as they all go together, that is. So I could also, if I wanted to, pick out little individual segments of the waterfall. That often works nice as well, but for me today, that's the shot that I took over there, albeit a difficult one to get. I couldn't have come on any other conditions really, because I wanted the flat light, because the tree wouldn't have looked as good, and there would have been a lot of contrast on the waterfall. So the conditions now, although are great for shooting the fall itself, you've just got to deal with the midges, and I knew that was going to be a problem. But all in all, really happy with that shot. So here it is, hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you hopefully at another location soon.